I should probably grab some water. Oh, I'm excited to record this one. Hey team, welcome to HG Designs Crochet, HGDC. I hope that you're tickety-boo. My name is Heather and this is my channel all about granny squares, motherhood and running my own small business. If you are brand new, hi, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for giving this channel a chance, and if you are a returning viewer, hey, what's good, what's happening? I hope that you're tickety-boo. Today we have the traditional sit down crochet vlog. So I've got all of my finished objects, my works in progress, my new acquisitions, and I cannot wait to delve into this one. I have so much to share with you. I have piled it all around me and makes me so happy. So how have you been? It's been a whole month since I did a sit down chat with you and the month has gone so fast. I cannot believe we are now in November. And because we're in November, that now means that I can start talking about Christmas, right? So last month, October, I sat down and did a review of everything that I had achieved in September and everything I wanted to achieve into October. And I had so much fun putting that video together. And we sat down, we planned out my goals for October. And yeah, so many of you said you really enjoyed watching it. And I had so many amazing comments on that vlog. So thank you so much. So here I am to do a follow-up, and I am going to review everything that I did in October and all of my goals for November 2024. I have got a little bit of a cold. You could probably hear it in my voice. I have my water and my lemon and I will stay hydrated. It's a good job that I have a couple of hours because I have so much to go through with you. Grab yourself a project and let's jump in. Okay, this is the format we're going to follow. Finished objects, work in progress, acquisitions, and I'm going to put inside HGDC in there as well, so that will be everything going on within HGDC. Funny enough, says it on the tin. And then I'm also going to do a little Christmas segment because I'm so excited about Christmas. And then I'm also going to go through my goals for October. Did I hit them? What didn't I do? What didn't work so well? What am I going to change and switch up for November? And then my November goals. Okay, so I'm just going to jump straight into the finished objects. I have one finished object this month, and that is, it's finished. Just don't mind the ends, it's finished. I'm going to do the whole, ta-da! This is my shopper granny square tote. It is finished, other than I need to do the ends. Won't take me long to get that done. This is actually such a cute design. Let me give you a little bit of a tour and talk all about it. And I really want to show you this. I wonder if I can get that on camera because the effect on the inside is beautiful. Looks like a stained glass window. Okay, so I have used a double knit acrylic yarn and it was all from stash. So the squares came from my stash of granny squares, which I will share with you in my works in progress. There's a sneak peek there. And I used black sparkle yarn from the pound shop to join. So I have got this cute design completely made out of double knit acrylic yarn, entirely from stash, and then it has a secret ingredient. I used a 4.5mm hook and it's entirely crocheted, and the idea behind it was that when I go shopping I want to be able to have a bag for life that is granny square. But I didn't want to have to line it, so what I did is I purchased a tote bag from Hobbycraft and then I placed my granny squares over it. So it's completely lined and you won't lose anything when you put things in there. And there's no sewing, it's 100% crochet. I think that's genius. I'm just going to take a moment to say this is genius. I even crocheted over the handles, so when you are holding it, you would have no idea how it originally started. And I do believe somewhere in my stash I have another blank canvas that I want to make the second version out of. So I will show you what that looks like. If not, I'll put pictures in from the website. The canvas was, the Tote canvas liner was like £1 from Hobbycraft. So even if I wanted to buy my own fabric to sew, which I don't, I wouldn't be able to do it on the same like level of affordability. I feel like I've unlocked an entire cheat code by doing this, and it's given me so many ideas for so many more because Hobbycraft have so many bags in stock. Now, when I made the first version of this, I wasn't very happy with how you could see the lining. So when you held this up, the lining of the tote would show, and it was just not giving me the great vibes. So instead, I ripped it back and I created it with the panel on the inside, so that when you hold it up, all you see is 100% granny square. I'm really, really pleased with this one. This is my shopper bag. I was thinking of changing the name and I had some amazing name suggestions. And when it came down to it, because it went into testing with that name, it just stuck with that name. So in the future, before I call for testing, that is when I will set the name. What else do I need to tell you? This is bag 2 of my subscription squad. So the HGDC subscription squad is a bi-monthly subscription and you receive a PDF pattern. This one went out yesterday, the 1st of November. This is an exclusive pattern for the HGDC sub squad. You will not be able to get it until it's released as an individual pattern, which I am planning on doing in August 2025. So if you want to make it now, you need to get it now, and you have until the 30th of November. There's only 30 days in November, right? You have until the last day of November to get your copy, and not only will you receive the copy, there is also now a Facebook group for the HGDC sub squad, which means that we can all be in there, we can chat, and we can spend loads of time in there together. I get to see everything that you're working on. And I am actually, as I said, I want to make a second version of this, so I'm going to be posting like along with everybody else, like this is my yarn selection and this is where I'm at with it. So I'm going to really feel like part of the team. And there is also a video chat. So month 1, November, you receive the pattern and you work on it, and then on the first weekend of the second month, which is December, we have a video chat. And that will be on the 7th of December at 10 AM GMT. I'll put the details here, and I'll convert that to different time zones as well. And then we will just sit and we have a little chat and we work on our projects, and everyone gets to share what they're working on, and we all get to have a little yarny discussion. I'm not sure whether to do some sort of little games or icebreaker type thing this time, or have like a specific crochet question and we go around and chat about it, because it would be really nice to just do more crochet chat. So maybe I could be like, we could share what we're working on, then maybe we could have a specific yarn question for this month, like when and where did you learn to crochet, because everyone has their different background stories. Or maybe it's like, what's your favorite brand of yarn? Like every month I might just add in that element. And then the bigger the group gets, then I would just put us into smaller groups if needs be. But right now we're at a really nice size where everyone gets a chance to chat, and we're going to like get to know each other. So it's like real crochet friends, and I'm so excited and happy about that. Yeah, so that shopper, I believe it was one of my October goals to complete that, and I've done it. So that's a big tick, and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. The only thing is I've joined it in black yarn, and that just doesn't work well with Albie Dog. He's just here out of sight. So I do want to make another one in different colours so that I can take sample pictures without fretting about his hair being everywhere. And that is it for finished objects. So we're going to slide on into works in progress, of which I have many. I'm going to go straight into the frilly pouch. I gave you an update last month that I wanted to try and get the mega pouch finished, and obviously I didn't quite do that because we're in works in progress, but this is where we are. Ta-da! This is my frilly pouch. It was inspired by my frilly cushion, and don't mind the ends, you can see. Don't mind the ends. Yeah, it was inspired by my frilly cushion, and it's got reinforced panels so it holds its shape, and then it has the frill around it. I did 2 round join as you go granny squares on this one to create the panels, and again it's double knit yarn, all from stash. The orange I think is like a sheepier's, I want to say like it's a spice or a burnt orange or something like that. It's their shade of orange, and all that is needed on this is the zip. I have actually ordered the zip about 3 days ago, so it should be here early next week so I can install the zip, and then this will be finished, and I absolutely adore it. I think this one's going to be my Kindle case. I want to make an even bigger one for my planner, even though I already have a planner cover. Just figured how amazing would it be to have its own frilly pouch to go into. But before I make anything any bigger, I also need to finish the other 2 sizes I started. So we have mega, we have midi, and we have the mini. And I'll hold those all up so you can see the size difference. Mini is super cute, and it's gonna have, they're all gonna have zips installed, and this one's gonna be like a coin purse. I can put my cards in there, super cute. And then this midi is gonna be like a notions pouch, so I can put scissors and a measuring tape and whatnot in there, and that can go into my bag, project bags. What do you think? So last time you saw these, they were just like a pile of crocheted panels, and I wasn't sure I was going to have enough yarn to join. I have had enough yarn to join them, and hopefully I'm going to have enough to install the zip. I've got all of this, and all I need to do is install the zips, so hopefully there will be enough. I am kind of sad I didn't make them in different colours just because it would look really cute on the photos, but I'm really, really pleased with them. And in terms of releasing this pattern, I'm not entirely sure, and I do have a bit of an update on future releases on Inside HGDC, so we'll come back to that topic. And then next for works in progress, crikey moly, I've got so many. We will go to this one. This is my comfort pouch. It was inspired by my comfort cushion, which you can see hiding back here. And it's just a giant granny square pouch, and it's going to be a huge project bag. I got quite far on this, and I'd actually joined it all, and it was ready for the zip, and then I realised that I joined it in the wrong yarn. I'd gone with glitter black rather than standard black, and I had to rip it back, and then I was so annoyed at myself that I just haven't finished this last little bit. But I did order a zip. So let me give you a little bit of a tour of the project, and then I'll share what I've got left to do. Again, double knit yarn, standard for me, and I stash dyed from my stash of granny squares. I joined them together in these 2 panels, and then I've lined them by using my scrap yarn on the inside, and it's held double to make it chunky, which means that it's a really thick lining, and then I'm not going to lose things in there. Obviously you wouldn't just chuck a stitch marker in there or a loose needle, that would need to be in a notions pouch. However, you can put like pens and things in there and nothing's going to slip through, so that's ideal. You wouldn't lose your hook. And it's going to have a zip at the top to close, and the whole premise for this project is that it is a huge comfy project bag that you can stuff full with quite a large project, and it looks cute. I also think my laptop would fit in this, which I'm about to try. Oh, it does! Ah! It also fits my MacBook in there, so I might make one as a project bag. Oh, a project bag? I might make one as a cozy as well. I can definitely make it a bit smaller though. Ah, that's great to know. I wanted to make some more sizes, so there we go. Oh dear, my poor voice. So last time you saw this, it was 2 granny square panels and I was working on the lining. Please excuse my voice. It is rapidly declining and I thought it was going to be fine. Oh no. So I finished one of the lining pieces, created the second one. I joined the panels together and I'm now have the final seam to finish and then the zip to install, and then that one will also be a finished project. Wow, look at me finishing all these things. Okay, then my next project, work in progress, you haven't seen for a long time. I believe I first showed it in January this year. It was going to be a part of my 2024 collection, and as you know, I cancelled that collection. I took 6 months off HGDC and I wasn't ever sure that project was going to see the light of day again, but because the weather has changed, I want to work on it. Any ideas what it is? It's currently living in this huge canvas bag, and I have actually started taking it apart, so it looks a little bit weird. This is a granny square jacket that I started for my son. The pattern's name is Nebula. And of course, there's a whole story behind that. There's a song that Teddy absolutely loved back then that was called Nebula. And when I looked up the meaning, I really liked the meaning. So this is Nebula. I saved this as a work in progress when I emptied the yarn room. I knew I wanted to come back to it and I was like, the time is now. And when I took it out, I laid it out on the floor and I put his current winter coat on top of it and realised that although it looks huge, it's actually going to be fine. But the sleeves are way too long. I needed to take a row off. So as you can see, the sleeves here are 1, 2, 3 in squares in length, and I've started to take this one back so that it would just be 2 squares in length. When I started it, I wanted it to be a stash diver, so I actually did the body. I joined it in navy and then realised I didn't have enough to do the sleeves. So the sleeves are joined in black. Once I've done that, I'll put that back together. I have got squares for the zipper. I have a very clear vision for this one in my head. Hopefully I can explain this in a way that you can see it, because right now I know it's very much a work in progress, so bear with me. I have created these granny squares, and yes, the ends make it harder for you to see, apologies. But I've created these granny squares, and what I did is I wanted it to look like that when the zip was installed, the granny square would look like it had literally been zipped in 2, in half. So I designed granny squares to be able to do that. So they then need installing on the front. Can you see here? I will put the granny squares down there, put the zip in. And then, as I said, it's a winter jacket. So I'm using this Chanel Cozy yarn. This one is from B&M, which is a store in the UK, and it's like a grey Chanel velvety cozy yarn. I'm creating these panels and I am going to line the entire jacket with it. So the back, the fronts and the sleeves, and I want some sort of collar action so that you can flip the collar up and it'll be really warm and cozy. Oh, you can see it now. Just in my head, I'm like, do I want it to be double-sided granny squares, or do I want it one side to show? Oh, design ideas, design options. Yeah, so I want the entire thing lined in this so that it'll be super cozy. And then, never mind the fact that I've never designed a jacket before, I was like, imagine if it was reversible, so you could have this show on the one side, and then when you flip it, the granny squares are on show on the inside. You know, when you kind of want to like wear handmade, but you want to go a little bit more stealth, or maybe your outfit calls for something not so full on as a whole granny square jacket. Like you can just have like a little peep of a granny square jacket. So yeah, I have no idea how I'm going to make the reversible part of it work, other than I bought a zip that is reversible, so you can open it from both sides. I do think that this zip is too long for what I need, so maybe purchasing another one. I also want to make me a version as well. I started with Teddy's because I was like, it's smaller, it'll be quicker to make. But if I'm honest, I kind of wish I'd started with my own, because it is really difficult to get Teddy to try this on. So in effect, I'm going to have to make all of the panels, put it all together and have it so that I can just zip him in and out, or at least just place it over him without the zip installed, and pray that it fits, and if not, make adjustments. Whereas if it was mine, I feel like I could try it on a bit more and get stronger measurements rather than trying to measure an escape artist. There sometimes might be partly alligator. Yeah. So this is the gorgeous cozy yarn. I picked this out yesterday and I have started working on it. I have no idea when it's going to be finished. I'd like to think that it'll be finished before winter is done, but if not, then it'll be there for us next year, won't it? Still on the works in progress, I have been adding to my granny square stash. So I shared this concept with you maybe a month or two ago. What I do is I stash granny squares. When I want to work on a project and don't know what to do, I make granny squares. I have had questions. Cindy was one of them. How do you know what hook size to use? I always use a 4.5mm hook or a 3.5mm hook. So this is my 4.5mm stash. And what I do is I make granny squares all the time, and say for example I just have 20 minutes and I want to just sit and make some granny squares. Rather than starting a new project, I just make granny squares and then I pop them in this bag, and then when I have design ideas such as shopper, such as the comfy pouch, such as comfort, I can just reach in and get the granny squares and start working on the design. I do actually have a design in mind for these. I want to make a big, huge, massive blanket to go on the sofa so we can snuggle under it. I have calculated that I need 891 squares. This has been all in a commitment, a push to get to that point. I don't know how many is in here, and I am going to sit and count them all. So they're all currently living in this giant Wool Warehouse organza bag. Shout out to Wool Warehouse for your bags. And this month I've been adding to the stash. So October, I shared with you my new little system that I have going on, which is these organisers. These are £3 from B&M, and they are a organiser box. I've left the stickers on. I started peeling this one off and it made a mess, and then every time I come to pick it up, I'm like, sort out the stickers or crochet. Sort out the stickers or crochet. And crochet wins. I might see if I can get Brad to sit and do it. I've got 2 of these at the moment. I might go and get another one. Let me open it up and give you a little tour. So it's got these like clips to close it, and then on the inside it has these dividers. And what I've done is I've gone through and I've made a load of granny square centres. My wrists are really clicking at the moment. and I've done them all in different colours, and then I filled up this and this organiser. I calculated this month that I've made roughly 200 centres, and these were completely jam-packed. So I sat down maybe a week ago and started making granny squares, some of which are in here. Now, I've shared this on the last month, so I won't go into great detail this time. In effect, what I do is I pick out a cube of my yarn. So all of my yarn is stored in the IKEA Kallax cubes, and I have a cube for different shades. So I've got neutrals, I've got pinks and reds, I've got yellows and oranges, and then I have all of the greens and the greys and the blues. And I bring a cube over, I sit down, I pull out balls of yarn and I make centres. I do 5 to 10 centres in each colour, and then I put them in the organiser. And it works really well because I can grab a couple of balls of yarn, and say we've got like a 20-minute car trip, I can crank out a load of centres, and I actually take my organisers out with me. But you can just put the centres in a pouch and organise them when you get home, which I've also done as well. This organiser is for the blues and the greys and the greens, and then this one is for the pinks. This one is quite a bit fuller still, but they were absolutely jam-packed, and it was so nice to then sit there. Then date night a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week, I sat down, pulled out my yarn and made granny squares. And what I do is then I grab a load of yarn and I put the second round on. That is like my second favourite part of making granny squares. My favourite part is joining, because you just get uninterrupted crochet time when you use continuous join as you go. All of these squares will go into a continuous join as you go. To make sure I get an even mix, there's my scissors. I found you. To make sure I get an even mix of colours, what I do is I pick out, I decided this month to use October's acquisition yarn to create the granny squares, because then that way I know that there's not any of them in here. That way I know there's none of them in here, and I'm not going to be duplicating myself, because I like all of my granny squares to be like one-offs, because the possibilities are endless and there are so many colour combinations. So all of the yarn that I purchased in September and October, I have now made into granny squares, and I will share some of that yarn in my acquisitions as well. Okay, so before I do the reveal, please guess how many granny squares are in this little bag. How many granny squares have I made throughout October 2024? So here we are. This is all of the granny squares that I have made in October. I had originally put them in here, and then Teddy likes to play with my yarn, and he tipped them all out and they all went everywhere, and I realised I wasn't going to be able to track how many I made. So I did my best to take out the ones that I think I made, and yeah, this is where we're at. So I'll quickly count them, and then I'll share some of the colours with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 13. Wow. In this little pouch is 139 granny squares, which has got me really intrigued. Like, how many are in the big bag? Let me just refill this and then we'll do a size comparison. There's 139 granny squares there. which has really got me questioning how many are in here. I need to count them. 139 granny squares contributed, and I made around 200 centers. So I'm going to completely empty out those organizers before I make any more. Get comfy, Albie. However, I have had some new yarn, so I will be adding a little bit of that into the mix. Lie down, mister. You're making it a bit messy. Wow. And I haven't been like going full force. I've just been picking it up in between other projects and when I have a few minutes and just getting things, just making granny squares. So I am going to try and keep a log from now on of how many I make each month, just out of curiosity really. And I'm also going to weigh them and just see like how much yarn I've used up. Wow. That's all my works in progress. Other than I did start on bag 4 for the HGDC sub squad, but I've decided I'm not going to share that right now because I will be so far. I want to be able to keep it a little bit of a secret and have a little bit of excitement later down the line. So I have made really, really good progress on that. And I have ordered the hardware, but we will share that another time. It's granny squares. I kind of wish I could show you, but I'm going to save it. So we're going to go into acquisitions and then I'm going to share a few Christmassy bits with you. Acquisitions, I've ordered zips. So I've got this one. This one is actually for bag 4, which I know I said I'm not going to share with you, but I thought it might fit the comfort pouch, but it's 1 inch too long, but it fits bag 4. So I need to order, I've got a zip that is actually too small, so I need to exchange it. Might keep it though, don't know, and get the one that I need for the comfort pouch. And then I also have ordered the orange. I've ordered 1 orange zip to try on this one. I didn't want to order them all in case I got the wrong sizing. They're free postage, so I'm not worried about paying additional postage costs. Yeah, so there's that. And then I also acquired some more yarn. I did a whole yarn unboxing vlog, which I shared with you. So I'm going to just quickly go through these bits and bobs. I have got this mega bag of yarn, which I can't wait to fill with granny squares because I think it's bigger. I think it's a bigger bag. So once it's empty, I'm going to fill it with granny squares. I got this mega haul of yarn from Yarn Smiths by Wool Warehouse. Disclaimer, I have been previously gifted their yarn, but I purchased all of this yarn. And I also shared that I got this yarn, and so many of you left comments saying that you need to go and get some and that you've purchased it. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. And please can you keep those comments coming because I want to know what colours you purchased. What shades did you get? And maybe I can share a link below and I'll have like a thread in my I Heart Granny Square Facebook group and you can share what shades you've ordered and the granny square combos you want to make because that'll be so much fun. So I won't go through this in too much detail because you've seen it all, but I have to just give you a little quick tour. I purchased burgundy. Bronze is brick. I really like this shade. I do not have anything like it in my stash yet. I've got navy blue. This is country green. Several balls of the rust colour, a chocolate brown, antique gold, vanilla fudge. And these are all destined to become cushions for my brother. He wants a comfort cushion and he wants a amore cushion, which are both of my designs. So this huge bag, I am going to film. I love doing that. I'm going to film me taking the ball bands off each and every single one to make granny squares. I just love it when you know that noise when you take the band off and then you get to find the end and you get to, I love that. And I also got some more yarn because I didn't want to pay for postage. I'd rather buy the extra yarn. Ugh. We just find a way out of here and I'll show you. So I got these shades to add to my stash. I got this purple orchid. I got 2 shades of red, bright red, and like a claret red, something red, pale lilac and lilac. And these are all colours that I don't have in my stash, so I could make more granny squares, which is why when you saw my granny squares, those colours heavily featured, because I used them to make a load of granny squares. And that reminds me, I realised I didn't give you a little tour of the granny squares. I just wanted to share some of the colourways. I used my new yarns, as I said, to make these. So there's a lot of this red, a lot of the purple orchid, which are my Yarnsmith new shades. I've got the pale lilac as well as the lilac. You can just see that shade difference there. And then I also used a lot of this coral, which was like a new shade to my stash. I also did a lot of this glitter white with the grey sparkle thread through it, which I purchased from One Beyond. And I also used a lot of this orange, which was gifted to me when my mum got rid of her stash. I also did quite a lot of the navy. I picked up navy from One Beyond as well. Or was it the Pound Shop? I think it was One Beyond. Because I didn't have any in my stash. So I know that they don't feature very much in this bag. I can't see any navy at a glance. So I definitely need to make a lot more navy centres and make a load of granny squares with them. I also dove into a bit of grey because I feel like that is missing out of my big bag of my big stash. This bright pink, because again, that's a new to me shade and there's not a whole lot of it in there. And then this green, that's a new to me shade from last month. And then this red is a Yarnsmith red, again a new shade. So I just had loads of fun creating different combinations with yarns that I have recently received. I also did this glitter one because there's not a whole lot of that in there either. So my goal is to add in shades so that when I lay out my blanket, I've got loads of different colour combos to pull from. I like them to be, I like it to look like it was really randomly like placed, as if a scattergun went off, where actually I put loads of time and thought into it. So yeah, they're the shades that I have used a lot of this month. I don't have any plans to acquire any more yarn this month, so my plans for these granny squares will quite possibly slow down because of my goals that I have for November. So let's go into my goals, which is like my inside HGDC segment, and then we can talk about Christmas as well. I shared with you my planner last month, and I shared a little bit of what I'd done in September, and then I set like firm goals for October, and then with the view that we'd come back, we'd talk about them, and we would set November goals. So let's get that bit done now. I actually shared the goals on screen, so I'm going to read them out in the order that they're going to appear on screen for you now. So my October goals was to release Comfort. Tick, I released that pattern. I'm going to tell you if I've done it or not done it, and then I'm going to circle back and go through any extra details I want to share. Then my next goal was to get shopper tested. Tick, that is in testing. And then 3, finish my mega pouch. Is like a semi-tick because I need the zip. Admin stuff was to do my big blanket trackers. I haven't done that. Feedback on planners. and then order the frilly zip and the bag for hardware. Tick, I've done that. And then next on my to-do list, my nice to-dos was my comfy pouch, which as you can see, I have made progress on that. So tick. Bag 4, huge tick, made loads of progress on that. Mittens, I decided to go back to the Nebula Jacket instead. And then test stuff, final comfort check-ins, tick. Allure reward codes, tick. The early frilly check-ins, tick. And start shopper test, tick. In terms of my overall goals, let's quickly go through them. I did release my comfort cushion, which is this one here. I need to sort the ends out on that because I hate holding it up. So note to self, just get it done. I did release it, and then I shared this vlog where I shared that it had been my worst pattern release to date. Didn't get going at all. And I sat and spoke about that at great length, and then I had some really amazing comments on there. So thank you so much. And if you haven't watched it, then go watch it after this one and let me know what your thoughts are. I had some really honest feedback on there, and I still need to go through all the comments and reply to them, but I have read them. If I've read them, then I like it, and I give like a thumbs up and a heart. And then when I have a bit of time and space, usually when Teddy isn't with me, bless him, I will sit and reply to them, especially when they're longer ones. I need to think about, I need to form a response. So I want to go back and do all my replies. But from what I've seen so far, lots of people are just saying that they need to pick and choose what patterns they purchase. Like, they don't have an unlimited budget, and that they could probably make a cushion cover themselves just by looking at it. And it's not to say that they don't like the design, but that it's just not something that they would choose to put their money on right now. But then on the flip side, I have had other people say that don't forget about the beginners. For beginners, this would be an amazing pattern to start on. And then I had another comment from another designer saying maybe it's because it's coming up to Halloween, people just want to see Halloween stuff. This isn't Halloween related. And also, if it's not doing well, why don't I offer it as a free pattern to people, which could be great to grow my email list, especially because I want to reach people by email. It could just be a freebie on my website for people to get started with. So there was loads there to think about, and just generally like an overall sense of don't give up, you can do this. There was one person who was like, unfortunately, you're just not going to be able to make money from crochet, but I rebuke that. I can, and I have made so much money from crochet in the past. And I don't say that to be like, I don't say that in an icky way. There's no ick intended. What I mean is that I love crochet, and I know that it's also a way that I can support my family with it, and that is exactly what I am doing, and it's only going to continue to grow from here. So overall, I had such a loving response of keep going, you can do this. And so many people saying that they absolutely love my collection and they love the more involved designs, which was a real eye-opener for me, because I don't know, again, I need to sit and really reflect on this, but it was really encouraging to see all of that. And I had quite a lot of suggestions that I go with the collection next year, so I don't release individual patterns, I just put a collection together. And you know what, it's quite funny because that was my original plan and I changed it mainly out of doubt, and so many people like no, stick to that plan. So yeah, I got lots of thinking to do, but thank you so much for every bit of feedback on there. I truly value it. As I said in that vlog, I don't have many people that I can just sit and chat to about this. There's people that I can message, but it's not the same as sitting here and just truly sharing. So I really value your input. And also, off the back of that, I did speak to Brad about it, like I said I would, and We spoke about my income goal, and basically I'd been pressuring myself way too much with my income goal. Like, if I don't reach it, we're not going to starve, we won't lose our home. It's not that deep, so I don't need to be pushing myself that hard. And ultimately we have decided that it was my choice, but obviously I spoke to Brad about it. I've decided that I'm just going to focus on the subscription squad and make sure that those patterns are like top of the top, pour everything into that, build that community, because that's what I so badly want and need myself. And then from there, I will then work on other patterns as and when I can. And with the view that if I have had the capacity, then I'll create another collection for 2025. And if I haven't, then whatever I've put together, I can decide to release as and when, rather than trying to put so much pressure on myself, which is not good. And like, I believe it was Emma that commented and said, you're putting yourself under so much pressure, and cold and flu season is coming, and you're just going to have like, you need to focus on your physical and mental health. And I truly, truly agree with that. I did get the shopper pattern tested. However, I've extended the test because the last couple of weeks I haven't been, I'm just going to say I had a flare up, because that's the easiest way to refer to it. I've had something ongoing in my life and I had a flare up within that condition. And it just meant for that week that I had to really reduce my output and my capacity, which again is another reason why I don't want to have a punishing release schedule. I need that wiggle room to be like, this week I want to hibernate, or this week I want to be in a bubble with Brad and Teddy, or this week I need to just go quiet on my socials and not have any guilt or worry or feel like I'm letting people down. So I have extended that test, and I need to update all of my testers, and they just need a little bit longer to complete the handles on that bag. Because it was a rushed test anyway, and then unfortunately with me needing that week, which was like the last week of the test, it was just rubbish, unfortunate timing for all of us. And then obviously I've had this cold as well, so I I had like a really strong start to the month, and then the last 2 weeks was like limping through to the finish. Finished the mega pouch, as I said. I just need the zips, and I am really impressed at how much I've got done on that. It does mean I don't know when I will release those patterns. I am not sure at this point whether you will see them as individuals or like, I just don't know. It is most likely that I will release them in August 2025 as part of a collection, and then potentially I might put the collection out there, but also put individual patterns as well. So they're all decisions that I need to make at some point. Future me will make those decisions, and hopefully you will help me make them as well. Admin stuff, big blanket trackers. Sorry, Paula. Sorry, I haven't done it. I will do it, especially because I'm about to count these and I need to keep track of it myself. Feedback on planners, that is top priority for this month, because I want to put in another order for planners. I want to have my 2025 planner ready to go. This has honestly changed everything for me in the last couple of months, and I need my 2025 planner. So there's a few design changes I want to make, but I will also, for myself, but I also wanted to get feedback from everybody who has a planner so I can make those changes. And then my plan is to get these ordered. Come back to that as well. The nice to do's was the comfy pouch. I made quite good progress on that, even though I had to frog quite a bit of it. Bag 4, I'm absolutely smashing. And I did share a sneak peek in the sub-squad chat as well, because I was just absolutely bursting to share it. And then mittens, I've parked that completely. I purchased store-bought for Teddy, and I have store-bought for myself. So for now, I'm focusing on some of the projects I've already started. Technically, I did already start mittens, but I'll come to them at some point in the future. Who knows, maybe they will end up being a part of next year's collection. Yeah, yeah, and then I did all my check-ins. So I feel like in terms of a month review, I feel that October went really well, but I also had some huge reminders. It's almost like God was like, bam, we've been through this, we've had this chat, stop. And then I got hit with like the flare up, and then I got hit with the cold. I'm really, really pleased with how much I can get done, and when I need to, I can get a lot of work done. In terms of sustainability, it isn't fun to have to do that every single week, to have to really push through every single week. It's nice to have a bit of flexibility there. It's nice to be able to pick up other projects just because I want to, and that gives me space for designing and creativity, and that's what refuels me. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with the sub squad. I am really enjoying designing the bags, but most of all, I'm really enjoying having everybody to chat to and being able to talk about the patterns, and I'm really looking forward to my video chat as well. Thank you so much for joining that. I also did make the decision that I've reviewed a load of my prices on HGDC, and I am reducing some of the prices. So I'm hearing absolutely everywhere at the moment, cost of living crisis, especially in like America and specifically in the UK. The cost of living is ridiculous. Like the cost of food is extortionate. The cost of utilities, everything. It's absolutely skyrocketed. Most things have doubled, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's intense. And that means that everybody is budgeting, obviously, and we're all trying to make our money go further. And although I can't do anything about the cost of living, what I've decided is just do the complete opposite and reduce the cost of some of my patterns. So previously, my garments, such as Revival, was £8, and I've now reduced that to £6. The sub squad was £10, but I have set it at £7.50 for this month. And my reasoning for doing that is because it's just time for us to look out for each other and to give back where we can. So if you are in a position to do so, donate to food banks. If you are in a position to do so, gift food and essentials to those that are more in need. And if we can save money elsewhere, then that means that we can do that. So I have reduced my prices on those items, and that means that it should be more accessible for more people. And also, like I said, I just really want us to be able to help out others and give back. So my sub squad is only £7.50 this month, and if it already went through at £10, then I refunded the difference so that you're not being overcharged. I don't know how long I'll be able to maintain it at that price, but for now it's £7.50. So you have until the end of November for the shopper bag at £7.50, and then I'll just review it in January and see what we can do. What else do I want more of in November? More granny square and more just making for the sake of it. And also Christmas. I'm so excited about Christmas. I actually started watching all my Christmas films in October, and I've just been enjoying at the end of the day sitting there with a project and just spending some time with Brad and watching a Christmas film. I want less pressure, less stress, less deadlines. I know that by not putting out an individual release every month, I may not reach my income goal for the month where the sub squad is not live. But I also know that it's more likely to build and grow quicker by making that choice. So that is where we're at. And then November goals. So in terms of patterns, I want to share Shopper as much as possible. I'd love to increase my sign-ups by 5 people in November, which will take me to 25 people. In terms of patterns, I want to get bag 3. It's just a zip completed and into testing. I want to get bag 4 finished, and I also want to start on Mitchell's cushion. I'm not sure if I'm going to do comfort or amore. I think it's most likely to be comfort first. The nice to-dos would be to work more on Nebula and to get the frilly and comfort pouch completed. I don't know how much crochet time I'm going to have in November. And nice to have would be to just continue working on these, but I don't think that that granny square project is going to get a whole lot of action, what with having comfort to work on. In terms of ordering and like acquisitions, the only thing is more zips for the frilly pouches and the correct size for the comfort pouch. And once I've completed bag 4, I know exactly what I want for bag 5. So at that point, I will allow myself to order the items needed for that. And depending on how quickly I get these cushions done, I then need to order the cushion pads as well. So they're the only things on my list that I'm looking at getting this month. Admin, big blanket tracker, and I need to get the patterns ready for bag 3. And then whatever I can get done on the comfort and frilly pouch, I'd like to get them written up so that if I don't know if I'm going to test them now that they're done, because I think to me that would make most sense. Like, say it's completed and the pattern's written up, I may as well do the testing while it's fresh in my mind. The only thing with that is if I'm not then going to release it until next year, you know? So I'm a bit torn. I don't know whether the projects that I've made to just get them completed and then do a mini drop and then work towards a future collection, or save these for the future collection. I'm not sure how to navigate that. Any ideas? So then the only test that I should then have running is Shopper will be finishing up, and hopefully I will start bag 3 for testing. So a whole lot less pressure, a whole lot less to do on my plans, and a lot more crochet time, which is going to be lovely. There was quite a lot more admin last month, and that does get a little bit tough. Oh, and also huge to do is to update the planner design and get them ordered. And my plan is to put them up on maybe Black Friday, and then I'm going to have like a 24-hour sign up where you pre-order. At the end of that 24 hours, I'm going to order the planners, and then I'll get them sent out within that week. And then that means that you will receive them before Christmas. Not so that they can be Christmas presents, but so that, well, you could do that if you wanted to, but just so that you can then use that time in between Christmas and New Year to get your planner set up. And I already have all the packaging supplies for that, so that will be a huge help. And I would love it if in the future I can afford to buy a label printer, but I would need like 50 to 100 sign-ups to get to that point, and I just don't know how well they're going to do. So we shall see. I will also add that one of my great points for October is that I had the most income I have ever seen from YouTube in October. Amazing. It's just amazing to see it all growing. I have one other little segment that I want to add in, and then we will be done. And that is Christmas. We don't do Halloween. We don't celebrate it. We don't really acknowledge it. It's just not a part of our household. So the moment it gets to October and the weather starts to change, everything is Halloween, and then a little bit of Christmas stuff trickles into the shop, and I start to get so excited. And then it's the 1st of November, and overnight it's Christmas, and I am here for it. In the past, I used to say it's too soon, I only want to see it in November. However, now, living on the budget the way we do, it's so useful to have access to items from like September, October, November, so that we can be ready for December rather than trying to cram it all in December. Last year, both Brad and I left all of our December plans until like December, and it made the month so stressful, not only in terms of budget, but just in terms of time, trying to source all the presents, get everything wrapped and all of that stuff. So this year we said that we were going to be ready in advance, and I have stuck to that. I've stuck to that so much so that I actually started collecting items for Teddy back in January and just doing it on a month-by-month basis. So if you want to see Christmassy stuff, I have stuff to share with you. I want to change the decor of our tree. So when I moved in with Brad, it was Brad's tree, it was a bachelor pad, and the colour scheme he picked is not what I would choose. And when we merged our household, I actually let my tree go, which I wish I hadn't. I wish we'd just put it in the attic. and I could have kept some of my decorations. But anyway, because we just felt like we didn't need 2 of everything, so I donated all of mine. I'd received it for free, so I just passed it on to a charity shop. I just want to just like have a Christmas cannon and just cover the entire house in Christmas. I want like Christmas throws and cushions and decor and like trees in every single room, and I want my kitchen to have Christmas items. I want everything. I know that isn't going to be an option this year, and I know that this is going to take me months. It's going to take me years to build and amass my collection. So at first I was a bit annoyed, like I want it all now, whereas actually I'm excited that every year I'm going to be building my Christmas collection. Every year it's going to expand. This year I'm focusing on the tree and then our lounge decor, and then in the following years I will expand upon that. I've decided I'm going with gold as my main colour. I also want some rustic elements in there. I also want some red. I also want some black and white. So I cannot wait to put this all together. Let me show you the bits that I've purchased so far, and then I will share with you some of the ideas that I have. First of all, I was in Primark yesterday having a little look, and I picked up this sign. It says Merry Christmas. It has a tiny little wreath and it's cute. And I know that it's going to look great on my gallery, on like my picture ledges. This was the grand total of £6, and I do think that this will last for many, many years to come. And I love that pop of red, and then the little rope to hang it up, like pulling in those rustic elements that I wanted. So that is one of my first pieces of Christmas decor. I'm not going to put any of this up until the tree goes up. So we actually put our Christmas tree up on our wedding anniversary, which is the 23rd of November. We put it on the closest weekend, and this year it falls on a Saturday. So the tree is going to go up very, very soon. I mean, it's the 2nd of November, but soon. Okay, the next item you're either going to love or loathe. For me, it's so tacky that I absolutely love it, and I can't wait to pull all of this together. I got this tree topper. It is a gold sequin star to go on top of the tree. I'm so excited. It's going to look amazing. Again, I don't feel like it is the best of quality, but I'm hoping it will last for many, many years to come. And I'm at a place where trying to juggle budget and then like long-term items. But my thoughts were that if the sequins start to come off, I can add more on there. But I absolutely love it. And that was £5. So that's going to be our tree topper. Then also from Primark, I picked up this train bauble. It's got the green, the red and the gold, so it's all coming together. I'm probably going to change some of these ties for a ribbon, and this one was £1.50. There's a few others on my list as well. I'm going to have like my main baubles of like gold and probably some white and then like champagne colours. And then I want to put different textures in there as well, so put in more of the rustic elements. And then I just wanted some like, what I want is that in like 10 years time when we pull the tree out, we're going to have a load of different ornaments that have memories, and each year I want to add to it. But to get that started, I'm just going to purchase a load of different baubles to put on there. So I actually purchased a bauble for Teddy, and it's waiting at the shop. So if I get it today, then I will film a little bit and share it with you. I'm so excited for him. So excited. I also picked up this one, which is a carriage, a Cinderella carriage. And I love the like iridescent finish on it. And this was only £1. Again, I don't know about how long it will last, but obviously we will be gentle with it. And I'm going to put a great big ribbon on there, and that's going to look so cute on my tree. And then also from the pound shop, Teddy actually picked these. We got these gold baubles, so I have started the bauble collection. There are 24 in there. There's also some like gold snowflakes, can you see? And I'm gonna do a little like crafting thing with Teddy where we create a garland or something out of them. So yeah, there's 3 different finishes on there, and they're all like relatively small size, so they will help just to fill out the tree. So that's all. No, it's not all. That's all of the, it's not all. And then I've already purchased my Christmas crackers. We didn't have enough time or budget last year to get crackers, and because we were going away for Christmas, we decided it was something we weren't going to get. But it just didn't quite feel like Christmas dinner on the day because you need to have Christmas crackers. So I purchased these ones, and they are gold and glittery and beautiful. And I absolutely love the ribbons, and I'm hoping that I can save the ribbons once these have been pulled, and I will use them to make decorations next year. So I got these gold ones. There are 6 luxury crackers. You get the party hat, the joke, and the gift, and they were £8. And none of it is like plastic throwaway junk. So yeah, I'm really pleased with them. They're going to look gorgeous on my Christmas table. I want to have a go at making different bits with Teddy, like dried orange slices. If you've been here for any length of time, you will know that orange was a firm craving of mine during my pregnancy, and Teddy loves orange. So I want to do orange slices. I might try salt dough, like ornaments. I want us to make snowflakes, all those cutesy things. So over the next few, up from now up until Christmas, we're just going to be making bits and bobs. And also, I have a load of baubles from last year in the colour scheme that I want to change. So my plan was to cover those baubles, whether it be in fabric, crochet, paper, paint, and then create the baubles that I really want for the colour scheme that I want. Let the fun begin. Whatever we do end up making, I will share with you next month as well. And then there's one other thing that I really want to share. I'm really, really proud of it. One being the Christmas wrapping paper. I love picking my wrapping paper. I've gone with the red and white stripe for that traditional pop. I've gone with Grinch because Teddy really likes the Grinch and it's so cute. The first time he saw him, he's like, that's the Grinch. And I still don't know how he knows that. And then this is the one that Teddy picked for himself, and it has the elf on it. Now, Teddy is very, very particular. I will show him things and he'll be like, no, I'm okay. Or I'll show him like a toy car and be like, no, I've got a car at home. He's 2. Whereas I'm like, yeah, I have it all of it. So we were walking around the shop and he had a look and he walked straight up to this and he said, that's Teddy's. And I was like, it's not the colour scheme that I want in my head. I was like, are you sure? We can put it back later. And he was like, no, it's Teddy's. I want it. And he was like, Teddy, pay. So we went and paid for it and he picked this one. So my plan is for us to sit and actually watch the film because he's not seen it, and have a little hot chocolates together, or maybe do some Christmas crafting while we watch it as well. I'm sure we'll watch it many times. And then I also have some brown paper and then different ribbons. So this will be the main selections. I'm going to put some of that in for Teddy. And ultimately it's his Christmas as well, and it's his memories as well. So yeah. One last thing to share with you in terms of Christmas is I've been working on Teddy's Advent all year. In this box is 21 Christmas books. And what I really, really want to do is create my own happy memories for Teddy. And I love books. Thankfully, so does Teddy. And we spend a lot of time reading. You know the elf that everyone has, like the elf on the shelf? We're going to get him one of them. And rather than the elf doing like a load of nonsense and mischief, the elf is going to hide a book for him every day. So when Brad gets home from work, usually Teddy is napping, Brad's going to hide the book with the elf. And then when Teddy comes down from his nap, he can find the elf, and the elf will have his Advent book. So the elf is going to bring the book from Mama and Dada, and it will be hidden. So to do that, I needed 25 books. I wanted one for each day and then one on Christmas Day as well. So I started looking on Amazon. I created a list, and then every now and then I'd go in and check. And if one of them has been reduced quite significantly, I would buy it. And I also bought some bundles from Vinted and a few from local shops. I just want to quickly go through them and show you what he's got. And then I need 3 more and I know which ones I want. I'm so proud of this, and I'm so, like, it's bringing me so much joy. So much so that I'm like, can I do it in November as well? So we've got some like traditional and non-traditional. We've got the Christmas selfie contest. I think that was on a Vinted bundle. We've got Paddington and the Christmas surprise. This one is the red cover. I kind of wish I'd gotten the gold cover because I have a ornament that ties in with it. So I might swap this and I might end up gifting this to one of his friends. We've got Santa's 12 Days of Christmas. This was £1 from B&M. We've got 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Here is another copy of It Was the Night Before Christmas. They have slightly different wording and they have different illustrations. So I'll decide. It depends on whether I have the budget to get him another one or not. Then I got the Christmas Eve tree. I purchased this brand new from Amazon when it was in a sale. And I purchased this like January last year. Again, I've got a really good mix of like fun, and then I've got like some of the more classical ones. I've got the 12 Days of Christmas. Again, I know he's already got the 12 Days of Christmas, but we sung this last year, so I'm hoping that he will remember it. I've got Robin, official book of the film. So maybe we will watch the film. I got Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, an absolute classic. I got the Polar Express, an absolute classic. And again, I'm looking forward to watching that with him as well. I got him Postman Pat. He loves Postman Pat. And there's a Christmas movie. So again, another one that we will be watching. Then I've got the Twinkly Twinkly Nativity. My mum purchased this for him. Can you see? It lights up. I got Rosie and Jim and the Snowman. He really likes Rosie and Jim, and I remember Rosie and Jim from being a child. Santa's Little Elf. We're going more into the smaller board books for children now. A little 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. This is one that I am definitely going to replace. I got this one that's got a little finger puppet. Cute. I've got That's Not My Santa. I purchased these last year and he's obviously grown a lot. And I don't really feel like these are going to keep him as occupied as they might do. So again, I might double wrap these. And then next year I'll probably end up swapping them out. I got Dear Santa, which is a Lift the Flap book. He does love a Lift the Flap, so... I got this little one, which is A Busy Christmas. And then I got the Christmas Bible storybook. I do feel like we're missing a few books. There should be a few more on like Nativity. So that's something I'd like to sort. He's got another couple of these. That's Not My Snowman. That's Not My Robin. Peter Rabbit, Christmas Wish. And he does really like Peter Rabbit. So I'd like to get the gold Paddington Bear. I would like to get he really likes Spot the Dog, so maybe I'd get a Spot the Dog Christmas one. I'd like to get some nativity ones and more like biblical books for him. And I would like to get some, I just want to add to more classics. So there's not just the modern selfies and elves. I want some of the more classic literature. But I do only need 3, maybe 4 more books. And then in terms of his Christmas Day book, I have got him a couple of books. And I want to get him some of his favourites that we've borrowed from the library throughout the year. Yeah, that's Christmas so far. As I said, I've got the wrapping paper. So I'm going to write a list in my phone of the books that he has so far, which future me will be very thankful for. And I'm going to start wrapping them up, and then we need to source the elf as well. And then I'm really excited for just seeing his excitement and how much he's going to enjoy it. Yeah, that's everything. It's been a long one. I do also have some crochet ornaments that I'd like to make, but I have no firm plans, and I might even end up making some of them in December rather than November, which is why I've not shared a great deal. But that is everything. That is all of my projects, everything that I'm at and where I'm at with HGDC, everything that I've got for Christmas. It's been absolutely lovely to sit and do this video with you. I was going to say watch this with you, but you're watching me. It's been absolutely lovely sitting and having this chat with you. I really hope you've enjoyed it and seeing all of the granny square goodness around me and then the Christmas stuff. Next time I record, I'll have my Christmas setup behind us. Ah! How exciting! And I would really like over next year to focus on making some Christmas projects so that once Christmas comes around, I can add. Oh, so excited already. Anyway, if you got this far, please can you put a Christmas tree emoji in the comment box, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.